Hello and welcome back to another Wednesday live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you're having a happy Wednesday and I don't know, maybe getting some hobbying or gaming or whatever helps keep your sanity going. Down below me, I've got the disembodied voice to help keep things moving along.
Hello there.
Also, sneakily in the background, you can't see him, is Paul, our amazing moderator. So thank you for being here, Paul.
Yes, I'm kind of behind the scenes, but still on chat. Yeah.
And we don't have the painter Flo this week. Just keep her in your thoughts. She's got some family stuff going on, so we look forward to having her back next time. But in the meantime, we have another illustrator that we replaced her with, I guess, for today.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
You got Paddy of Paddy's Parlor, who's been on the show before. Independent game designer, illustrator, nerd, friend of mine.
Big nerd.
Here. So, yeah. Say hello.
Let me just do this real quick. I'll just get this on so that way people can get acclimated to staring at this all stream.
You can stare at the varying bulges.
Yes. My varying bulges. No, that's terrible. I'm never going to forget that. Well, howdy, everybody. I'm Paddy. I do lots of drawing for all sorts of really cool people, and I design games myself. Very fortunate to be an illustrator and game designer in this day and age of AI, and I can still always say that AI has not taken my job yet. we're chugging along, but
taking your gerb.
Not taking my derb. But I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I know there's some salty Jeremy in the chat saying he's not been invited. I'm sorry. This seems very much up your alley. Don't you agree, voice?
I always assume Jeremy's working right now. Like he always tells me, like, "Oh yeah, I'm listening to you guys from work." So I don't know.
He's saying that you might be the victim of this, but it's also your fault. That's what I'm hearing, right?
See, the problem is I'm
not being on.
It wasn't Miranda's not like asking me to come on. It's like me begging like every week. I'm like, please, Miranda, let me get on the channel.
I mean, if Jeremy really wants to come on, we can throw him a link in a little while. See if he wants to come on and hang out.
Yeah, DM me if you want it, Jeremy. Ball's in your court now.
That's right.
But yes, welcome to everyone else in the chat. So we're going to take a step back and talk about old style games. I think it's kind of the thing we kind of compacted it all under. It started off with a chat about, the games that are going to be happening at Valhalla. And it seems like there's actually going to be a lot of interest in playing one-page rules. And that maybe kind of harkens back a little bit to old school style, just by virtue of not being an insanely bloated thing requiring an app and, much accounting. That's my theory. But yeah,
well, I don't know if it might have even started prior to last week's show. We were talking about you playing against DJ, and we're having to use advanced mathematics to calculate a high enough number to represent all of the points that you guys scored in a game.
Oh, well, I don't know if it's advanced mathematics. It's just a lot of repetitive, basic mathematics that
the points feel like they've gone from a
pointless after a while.
It feels like it's gone from a hockey game to like a basketball game in terms of, points scored. It's like, oh, okay, well, we got some objectives. We got stuff here and there. And it's like, all right. You look at earlier versions of the game, you weren't scoring 100 points in a game, Whereas now there's so much. And I think I think they're trying to serve sort of the notion of being more granular. But I think in a lot of ways, it's too much, and I think people are feeling it. And I was watching, I need to find it now. I meant to have it pulled up. But I was watching a YouTube channel that deals largely with, I think second edition is what he mostly uses. It's just the older versions of the game, and he's going back, and one of the big things he's doing is even like painting his miniatures to fit. To kind of fit that era and all that stuff.
Obnoxious green base finishing.
Yes.
I was going to say, Jeremy says in the chat he's now off on Wednesday nights.
Interesting.
Well, you didn't let us know. You forgot to send out the memo.
My cat decided to wait till right when we started to stream to start scratching at the door to let her out. So
She realized she was live. She couldn't
Yeah.
handle the pressure.
well, she's normally like really cool about it, but I think today something she's just like Anyway,
Want to talk old mechanics? How about the days where rules and the GM, as applicable, did not care if you got hurt fifis from losing or dying? Everybody felt it. There was just more social shame about sharing it.
So yeah, I guess, do you guys want to talk about like old school war games or old school like RPGs or just a little bit of both?
I think it
War
falls
games we
under a
probably
little bit
speak
of
to
both.
more, but sure, both. There's a lot of overlap, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, RPGs started as war games that became a lot more granular, right? That's kind of where it all began.
Started with chainmail.
Yes, going back to like Free Kriegspiel, which was one of the first war games, and something that I haven't been able to do a whole lot of research into myself. Jeremy's gonna love this, and I'm sure a lot of the dudes out there that are more often on Twitter than on YouTube and such.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been really interested in this subsect of people that call themselves the Bro SR, and what they're doing, the Bro SR, and what they're doing to try and bring.
Miniscape. It was them. Yeah.
Yeah,
bring
Yeah, I follow them. Yeah.
this is who I was talking about. And it's been a lot of fun to watch.
Even his thumbnails are
their
old
videos.
school.
Right?
They do, those colors.
Dude, his
What happened to
thumbnails look like
bunkers?
they're straight off old Citadel model kits. That's awesome.
Right? And like the one on the left, he painted everything there. Those are his models. Those are his like terrain. That's his table. It's something that I think a lot of people kind of go back to. But in this video specifically, actually the one that's up there about bunkers, it actually discusses a lot of the rules that were around during second and third edition for bunkers and things like that.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't know. So it was sort of an interesting, it kind of got me into thinking about that. And so that's where a lot of the, I don't know, a lot of the idea for this particular show kind of came from.
There's a similar account on Instagram. I think it's called Old Hammer, and that's just somebody painting old, like second, third edition minis as well. I think they're called that.
Yeah, I've heard that referred to a lot as well. In fact, I think that's a whole website where people can go to get references and images and all kinds of stuff about the older versions of Warhammer, 40K, Fantasy Battle, I assume, Necromunda, and what's the really cool Fantasy Battle one?
Mordheim.
Mordheim, thank you.
Good old Mordheim.
Yeah. I don't know how
Yeah.
to make our layout do what
Dang.
we were doing earlier.
The
does that now.
longevity. Oh, you just have to click me around? Is that what you need?
I don't know.
Well, there's
It
like
was working just fine earlier, but now it isn't.
There it is. All right. But yeah, just to kind of continue the thought, I've been really interested in what these guys that call themselves the Bro SR are doing. They're talking about concepts that have existed in the rules for a really long time that have been really just left to the wayside, regardless of what their detractors say, because they do have a lot of detractors. And I don't know, I kind of get it. They have this machismo about them. They really like wrestling memes and like doing the kayfabe thing, and that's really off-putting for a lot of people. I don't particularly care. I think it's really funny.
Yeah.
But they're doing some really cool things. And case in point, this is a quick little shout out to Kursova and Jeffro, B-Dubs, Rule of Thule. They have a Kickstarter going for an academic book on Dungeons and Dragons and certain types of really war game implied ways to play RPGs called Winning Secrets. And I'm really excited to read that. It's just something that really fascinates me with this style of play, that it seems like something that I've been yearning for in RPGs for so long. And like I said, that whether or not they came up with the idea or not, because there's some dispute as to whether or not they're even claiming they came up with the idea, but they're really bringing it back in a way that I think is really cool. So I'm really interested in what really seems like scientific research into like they really bust out the what do you call that? The scientific method when it comes to these play styles.
Just approaching
Okay.
play styles with that in mind. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I figured this is kind of going to be mostly Voice's show for speaking to a lot of the the old school, let's say, of things. Like
I was
I have an appreciation for it, but like it's me watching old channels and say, or not old channels, but just people like you said. You had Miniscape up there, right? It's just like, wow, that's a really cool channel. But
I mean, the channel, I know you've watched some of it. Your earliest version, I think, of Warhammer you played was 6th edition. And that's when you learned that sweeping advance is horrible and kills all of your sisters of battle.
yes, I was very salty about sweeping advance. I recall that.
It's like, we're apparently within one turn, a Blood Angels melee dreadnought, I think, can just keep sweeping advance over and over as long as other units are close enough. and not ideal, we should say, for non-melee armies. But
Well,
I know you played that far back, but even since then, you've seen kind of the game change. I know a lot of the Warhammer or War Machine rules of keywords and ways of scoring and stuff like that kind of worked their way into a lot of the Warhammer style. But it's almost like it didn't replace it; it just added on top of it. So it's kind of like both of those added together in terms of mission complexity.
I didn't play the older Warhammer editions, and I never got around to playing like old Mordheim. Well, Mordheim, because I don't think there's old Mordheim. There just is Mordheim, or old Necromunda for that matter. But I was watching this channel from a guy that was on the team for GW, and he was talking about developing a game that really adheres to like the design philosophy, and it's a really cool video if you're into game design. He talks about organizing your thoughts and designing goals and coming up with like a creed for your specific game project. So that way, as you continue to design like your core loop and the ephemeral rules, you're not going beyond the scope. And he was bringing up some old 4th, 5th, and 6th edition rules, I believe. Like some of the crazy stuff about vehicles losing control. And, if you shot up a vehicle, you took it down, but the vehicle could still drive forward and then like roll over people. Or jump packs that would land in a random direction 2 inches from where you placed it. You'd have to roll scatter dice for jump packs, or jump packs exploding midair.
Yeah, those are all like 3rd edition, I think, Warhammer rules. Like
Yes.
the orc vehicles would careen. If you blew them up, then like where do they go? And it just shoot off in a direction. I believe jump packs, they always scattered somewhat.
Yeah,
Although
Jeremy's
address
right.
Jeremy's here. Let's see. It says, I just looked it up. It says sweeping advance was a mandatory rule in 6th edition Warhammer 40k. If an enemy unit failed a morale check and fell back from combat, the winning unit was required to attempt to catch and destroy them immediately, often resulting in one unit wiping out another entirely.
yeah.
And I want to say there was, I don't know if it was just Blood Angels, but there was one where it was like that. If they lost a round of combat, you could actually consolidate into another unit, and it would immediately initiate more melee combat. It was a weird thing where it could just kind of keep going and going.
You just Pac-Man through your units.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was a one in. Something like that came back. Was it 8th or 9th edition? No, it's later on. But Auspex Tactics did a video about it. It was something like if a Blood Angel Dreadnought got shot at, it could immediately fire back.
Yeah.
But people ran into situations where it was Blood Angel versus Blood Angel. So it would end until one of them was dead because the rule would just bounce off each other. I think North had it as well. So it came up quite often, and I had to obviously FAQ it immediately because
Just kind of created a feedback loop until
it's just looped. Yeah.
Yeah, man, a lot harder to FAQ or errata your rules back then. See, it's almost too easy now. I think it's way too easy to
Oh,
change your rules
absolutely.
these days. And I know that's something that I mean, we could talk for hours just on that alone. But as far as the old school type rules go, I think there's a lot of people who will sell you that it's I think earlier we were talking about like, oh, it's deadlier and less forgiving and so on and so forth. And it definitely starts off that way. But there was something more like grandiose to games back then, I believe. Going back to the RPG thing, it was assumed back in like OD&D that you wouldn't just have one character that you focused on and they had like main character syndrome. It was assumed that you would have a character and that they would be either vying for, being a king, right? Having their own like fiefdom and their castle and doing things and having multiple characters that are out running and doing stuff.
Mhm.
And these more sweeping campaigns. And it's interesting too, because I look at, how we play bolt action at Valhalla, and it's kind of like a casual non-tournament tournament. And it was interesting, like seeing how people interact with the game there, or stuff like what's the one that Toast would play in the basement with Ray and the big war game? Is that what it's just called?
War Room.
War Room. That's
Yeah.
what they were playing. Yeah. Well, I would say that Bolt Action is an old style war game. Like it plays almost exactly the way Warhammer used to play.
And is that because of like the morale rules? I can't remember if there was pre-measuring. I've only played Bolt Action at Valhalla and not since.
Pre-measuring is a modern phenomenon in wargaming, to my understanding.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like pre-measuring, it didn't even dawn on anyone that you would be allowed to pre-measure, for other games. Like that really was kind of just an assumption. Like, yeah, you can't pre-measure that. Like, at least in any war games I ever played, like that was just sort of thing that was just understood.
What even is the fog of war, guys?
Well, well, I mean, and I think it gave way, right? I kind of feel like War Machine maybe even ushered it in, but it kind of gave way to the idea that a lot of players, especially the more competitive level players, were more interested in triggering rules interactions than they were in maneuvering troops and setting up, sight lines for range fire and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead.
What is it worth to bring back the old style games if what we're bringing back is like stuff that would frustrate the modern gamer, right?
Well, first off, you got to know what your audience even is to know what is or isn't going to frustrate them.
By the way, Chuckaroo Bob, I've never heard that nickname, and it's great. I love it.
That's a good one.
1940K. I have not heard that, but I thought it took a lot from 4th edition, is what I understand from the bolt action stuff. And since there's no copyright on rule sets,
You can't. Well, I mean, one of the original 40K designers worked with the design, like helped design the rules for bolt action. So, I mean, I feel like it's pretty fair game, right? Like you got one of the old schoolers doing it, but as far as like, would it frustrate modern gamers? I don't know that it would. I think that they were put into place originally for tournament play to make tournament play more, what would you call it? Not
more
granular, but more, yeah, like, well, more
exciting. Well, you had brought up to almost force the triggering of rules and directions.
Yeah, like they wanted the, as Owen used to call it, the wombo combo. They just they want to just trigger as many of those, and it's no wonder that most of the modern, at least modern War Machine players, came from Magic the Gathering.
I was about to say that. I just, when you look at like free Kriegspiels and Bronsteins that were war games, they didn't have wombo combos. All of the war game was in the actual like Fog of War tacticals And Miranda, you like to complain about like fighting over these
Circles and squares, circles and rectangles, yeah,
circles and rectangles. Like why are we fighting over these circles and rectangles? And you could chef it up, like you could be like, okay, well this is a base, it's a stronghold. You could have something, but it's just not typically how the average like win at all costs tournament player plays. Versus
gamified to the point of being pointless. Why can only warjacks take a square rectangular zone, and why can only solos take a round zone? Why?
It reminds me of a comic that I read years and years ago when we played Warcraft back in vanilla, and Battlegrounds were getting real big. And you're like, oh, it's Warcraft. You're doing Battlegrounds, and it's like a comic strip panel. And the first one is just sort of the guys from Alterac Valley, right? It's these, it's this big giant map, and it's like, oh, you take territory and you burn down the enemy's bases, and we'll round up these troops, and all things that are objectives within that battleground. And then the next one's like Arathi Basin, for those who are familiar with Warcraft. It's like, oh, it's these 5 essentially points where you capture, and it's like one's a gold mine and a blacksmith and a stables and it's like, oh, we'll take their resources and we'll do all this. And then the third one got into Warsong Gulch, and he's like, yeah, and then we will take their flag. Because it's just capture the flag is all it was. And it's like the other ones kind of had this veneer of, it's kind of like what you might do in a war. Whereas the Warsong Gulch one was like, no, it's just capture the flag. It's literally, you play this on the playground. Like, this has no veneer of war at all. And it's kind of separates those two ideas of like, only warjacks can take these rectangles, but named characters can take, and it's just like, that's when it gets very, very gamey.
Right.
As opposed to, the other idea of, well, you just need to take this objective. And, like I understood earlier levels where they're like, oh, well, you have to have, when you look at the original force organization charts, and you had, am I blanking on the name of them? You could have up to 6 of them, but you had to have at least 2. You had to have an HQ. So you had
HQ, fast attack.
Attack, assault, heavy support, and the basic troops. What were they called? Elites was another one, but whatever the basic troops were, I'm blanking on the term they used.
Troops,
maybe just troops. But I understood why it's like, no, you have to take objectives with troops. And the idea is that, I guess that's true, right? If you have an attack helicopter, you haven't really taken the objective. You've cleared the objective with an attack helicopter, but you kind of need to have your soldiers there occupying it, right? And you're like, okay, that's kind of represented by those being the basic troops. Like, I know, I feel like I'm just watching a weird animation right now.
I know. I feel like I'm watching his like internal reaction to what you're saying.
Sorry.
That's fantastic. But
it reminds me of Dead Space.
Yeah.
Right?
So just for quick, just everyone knows what I'm doing here. This is the submission winner for my creature contest that Jeremy and I did. And I think Savage Brewski was also a part of it back in Halloween. And I was supposed to have this done for him last year, but I was
mentioning Halloween. Sounds a little
well.
late.
This was
very early.
This was the original version of the guy right here. Let me turn off some ears. So this was the original version, and I just did not have the chops to take this to conclusion. So basically, I spent a lot of time getting nowhere fast on this guy, and I decided I'm going to try something new, and this is where we ended up with, and I'm going to take this to completion because I can make this happen. The other one I couldn't. So I'm going to hope this is a shout out to Gary D20. Love you, brother. Hope you like the new direction of your monster, the Necrofuser. And if you want,
so
he's going to be working.
Is, if his legs are mischievous enough, if those hands come together, does it trip him like his shoelace is being tied?
I think he'd be too strong. I'd imagine there would just be like he would at that point he would just assume kind of like how this arm is like getting sucked in, right? He would probably just be like, no. But that's part of the torment, you know what I mean? I kind of imagine that these were victims at the same time and they yearned for each other.
Aww.
That is horrifying to me. Forever out of reach.
Tragedy in there, and anger.
But that's what's going on with this, guys. It's way overdue, and I was very appreciative for all the homies that participated in the contest, and I'm trying to get this done, and then move back to some commission work for Todd Ritzema of Horde Wars fame.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah.
Is
Sorry,
that
we're
fairly
just-
old school in its rules? I mean, I know he kept them fairly simplified, but I don't know if old school
I think
rules
Todd
accounted for that many things dying.
there's
go
a
ahead.
lot of like 4th edition DNA, and his co-writer Nathan was a big fan of IKRPG. So there's a lot going on there that's similar to those rule sets, I would say.
I too am a big fan of IKRPG. They have really, really good rules, in my opinion.
Dude, I
I
don't
assume
know,
you're
man.
talking about the non-5th edition or 6e. What edition
Well-
of D&D are we on?
Well, that's just the
What edition is this again?
yeah. Well, the new Iron Kingdoms RPG it's just a sort of a campaign setting set within the D&D rule set. I think at this point.
Mhm.
Whereas, yeah, like if I'm talking about like the IKRPG rules, I'm talking about the rules specifically for them. That's kind of what I would suppose, and I assume that's what he was referring to as well.
Jeremy and I are working, and Mrs. Parlor, Magic Wanza 2 in chat, we're working on our own tabletop games rule set, and we finally started testing like in earnest this year. And the more I play it, like I tried not to. I didn't want to be like, oh man, I love IKRPG, but it's just not complete and it's not going to get supported anymore. So I'm just gonna make Iron Kingdoms RPG, even though there's a lot of like design philosophy, like choosing 2 careers or the a la carte leveling type stuff.
Yeah.
The waning health bars instead of having 1 health track, you got the 3 health tracks. That type of stuff it's in
I liked
the game.
that. Admittedly, I did not like the multiple careers you mash together.
Oh,
That's one
yeah.
of those that I've seen a lot of games do that, but I've never been a fan of it. It feels
I'm stuck on it, and I
lazy.
think I'm gonna drop it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really interesting. I got a really cool group of players. Like I said, I got Jeremy. And as soon as I get like the core rules into a place that I really like, I'm gonna try to run some testing sessions on my Discord. But I'm so glad I got the players that I have, because I'm like, okay, guys, new rules changes. Everything we played last time, forget about it. We're doing something else this time.
Fair enough.
it's
So-
too much.
With one page rules is dumb question. It's primarily like for conflict games, right? Like 40K and all the others.
Well, it's kind of what the new one kind of sets the new one apart, right? The
Star
Star Quest or
Quest.
whatever that is. Yeah, it's like
where it's
solo player
only
or
solo
cooperative. I
play?
think.
yeah.
And it's interesting enough. It's really cool to see because they had Fantasy Quest and Star Quest, and it's not an RPG in the way that a lot of people that are very used to like Pathfinder or D&D plays. It's a lot closer to kind of what Uncle Adam was doing with Space Station Zero. And it's really close to what I wanted to do when I was talking about doing like the mutants cooperative and solo like expansion zines. I think it's a really cool format, especially for pickup games. Like if you had a game scheduled and nobody showed up, and if you just prescribe to the belief of, oh well, we can't play if everyone's not here. It's a really cool pickup game. Or if you just want to play a game and you can't find anyone to play with, I think it's incredibly sufficient to like scratch that itch.
I would say that's kind of sad, but I used to do that all the time as a kid with Advanced Hero Quest because it had solo play rules. So,
Wait, why is it sad?
well, if you're just playing a board game by yourself, and it was like, no, there's actually something kind of fun about it.
Yeah.
There was
I
also
think it
a
can be
one page.
charming.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
There's also a one page rules firefight as well, which was their
Kill
Kill
team
Team size
equivalent,
game.
right?
which
Yeah.
that worked well.
I'm not a big fan of firefight, mostly because as a like One Page Rules as a big size game, it does what you want it to do if you are just scorned by 40k. I've heard rumors that your 40k players, sorry for your wallets, you're about to get book wiped like any day now, I guess. So
all this shit
Well, they
too.
have to reset the knowledge base so they can sell a whole new round of books.
I mean, the new boxes, even kill teams are what, over $100 now?
I sent you because Valrak got the prices leaked and he put them on his channel, and it's the combat patrols are now all the new ones are over 100, well, in British pounds. They're like 110 pounds.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So are
And
those the ones that come with terrain as well and other stuff, or is it literally just the
no, the combat
team
patrol
box?
boxes are just the minis.
Yeah.
You know, kind of. It's a bigger than a kill team box, but smaller than an army type thing.
Well, that's what I was wondering, like if they're going to package them. What was for a while they were packaging groups. What am I thinking of?
It
Because
was-
we got a fair
Kill
amount of our
team.
terrain that way.
It
Yeah,
was
the cardboard
the,
terrain.
I think it was the
No.
2016 kill team boxes. You can
Yes.
get you can get a box that had 2 forces in it and a bunch of terrain, and then
Yeah.
like there was a singular, because that's how I got a bunch of my terrain too. I picked up
Yeah.
I think I picked up 2 boxes. It was the Space Wolves versus like Orcs box, but I only got the Space Wolves half of it, and then I picked up another box of like the Munifactorium or
Yeah.
Spaceport. So I got like the crane,
'Cause we
and then
also
the-
got like a
Yeah.
Tau and Sisters of Battle one.
Uh-huh.
That came with some terrain as well, and then there's like an Orc and something
Yeah, I've got
else.
the crane one.
Orc and Imperial Guard, I think, actually was one that came with a bunch of terrain. So it's like, are those for $100, or is it literally just the box with a dozen dudes and that's it for $100?
Well, I think
That's
you
what
get
I'm
like an
wondering.
HQ, a vehicle, or a monster, and then like two
kill
units
team?
of troops.
No,
No,
for
this is for the new
combat patrol,
combat.
kind of
Okay.
smaller 40k one. But yeah, that works out like $150. Like, you know, it's the
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, man, everything's getting more expensive. I just had a buddy today that was complaining. Speaking of old school inspired rules, my buddy Victor Gorchev just had a successful Kickstarter for a role playing game called Streets of Magic, and it's pretty cool. Like if you're familiar with the old Japanese movie Streets of Fire, I think Tommy might be. You ever heard of that one?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Had Willem Dafoe in it, and
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
No, it's the. Hang on, is it the one I'm thinking of? Because if it is, it's the one you got upset because you watched it.
it's like
Is it the
it's
one where he slaps the lady or punches her rather?
probably. I
He's, like,
can't
gonna
remember if
protect
I've
her,
ever
and he's
seen it
like,
all the way through.
you know,
but it's like
yeah,
biker gangs. It's like almost like cyberpunk biker gangs. Willem Dafoe plays one of the villains in
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I see the image
Yeah,
of it
yeah.
here. Yeah, it's the one you're thinking of. Yes,
Oh
we
my
watched
God,
this
no.
together.
Okay,
So
yeah.
there's a yearning there is a yearning that people cannot describe to go back to like old school inspired rules. I think there's been a lot of turning and burning with modern style rules. And I think a lot of people yearn for old style because, like I said, 40k players about to get book wiped, and that sucks. But the older editions still exist, and you could play with a lot of maybe not all, but most of them. And by going back to those older games, it feels like there's a lot more like wallet or like investment security.
Okay.
yeah. I
It's-
mean, you can always proxy models as well. If you bought something new and fancy, like just a single model, you can just get it, build it, paint it up, and go, "Oh, I'm using it for this game."
Well, I
Yeah.
think part of it is the idea of they'll never retire the miniature you love. Because if it's agnostic, then you just use it all the time for whatever you want.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I
that's
mean,
what-
it's understandable.
It's one of the reasons why I like making my miniatures agnostic games, because I have all of these War Machine models, and at this point, my War Machine models, because Kitty and I were playing for 10
Oh, yeah,
years.
years.
We'd play between a game or two a month, and now that I have the kids, I play several games a month, and at this
Yeah.
point, I venture to say I'm about to like crest the peak of playing more games with my War Machine models, not of War Machine,
Yeah.
than I have played with them in War Machine.
Well, obviously you can use your miniatures though for whatever other games as applicable. I mean, Disembodied Voice is looking very fondly at Advanced Hero Quest. We would probably just use minis we have for most of those. Maybe an IKRPG. I don't know. Probably Reaper.
Yeah, we've looked at some Reaper stuff, especially for skeletons, things like that. I looked at using. Oh, why am I blanking on it? It's the I guess it's kind of Age of Sigmar game that uses the hexes, the little hex maps, or it's a card game with miniatures.
Or Shadespire.
Shadespire, thank you. I don't know why. But yeah, a couple of the like the Skaven Shadespire groups and things like that, just to add a little bit of personality to them. And I was building tiles that were, instead of 1 inch, they were 30 mil.
Did you want to read that comment, Miranda? This Traveler comment? Are you guys familiar with Traveler?
Vaguely.
I don't think I am.
So Astro says, I used to play Traveler by myself in that I'd keep making characters over and over until eventually one lived. And then I was like, okay, now I need other people to play this game. So Traveler is an old game. And it's a fantastic game. Jeremy and I made characters on one of my live streams, and like I was told, like, yeah, have you played old school games? Has your character ever died in character creation? And that's like, you know, it's
D&D used to do that. You could have a stillborn mage in D&D. And so like we're rolling up characters because I'm actually at this point was just about to play in one of my first games with Jeff Rowe Johnson, and dude, I'm rolling up like this absolute Chad of like a space marine, and he's like war decorated. He's gonna like ETS from service with a ship, and I'm like, all right, do we go for one more term of service? Because like if you keep on serving terms of service, you get more skills at level 1. And I biffed it, and my character, and he died in his last deployment basically. And I was like, no, he had all these. And then the very next character that I rolled up and like survived his initial service was like this kind of skeevy bastard, like failed doctor that went into the service because he couldn't pass his medical boards. And then when I got to play, he was like a germaphobe, and he was like all on conspiracy theories because he was like, that's the only thing that kept him alive through service, was like not trusting anything that he was told. And so yeah, like people say like, yeah, have you ever died in character creation? And I got like the shirt. I need to make the shirt like, yeah, I played Traveler, and yes, my first character died during character creation, and all I got was this stupid shirt.
I like to think that as soon as you realize your character died, like some text appeared below you in real life somewhere saying achievement unlocked. Like, yeah,
absolutely. You have died of dysentery, space dysentery.
You've died from, what was it? Kind of being greedy in the character creation, I guess, right? Because you're like, nah, I can keep doing this and keep doing this. Because how far did you get? How many terms of service?
I would have to rewatch, but I think I was going on my 4th. And,
okay.
Oh, look at that handsome fella.
That is a very, very young Willem Dafoe with fantastic hair.
Still looks manic though.
He looks like a tunnel snake, dude. You know
I was going to say his hair looks like a cobra.
Yeah,
it's great.
Wait,
yeah. Fallout 3 tunnel snakes. Yeah.
Just walking down the alleyway like.
It looks like it's a widow's peak.
Snapping his fingers. He's got a switchblade knife.
Wow.
So yeah, if you're into that, my buddy Victor Gorchev, like I said, he just successfully funded Streets of Magic, which takes a lot of Bright, that type of stuff. He's kind of like the modern guru of old school type games. And pretty proud of my buddy. He's got a good eye for layout,
yeah,
and excellent taste for rules and like culture that he takes inspiration from to make those things. So
nice. Well, definitely make sure to check him out. or his Kickstarter rather. Does he have a
For
channel? He said he runs, right?
So he doesn't do much on his channel anymore, but he does guest hosts on the Basic Experts Natural Ones, and so they stream on Wednesdays together in the afternoon. So Wednesday's a pretty cool stream day. I get to watch you guys. I get to watch them talk, and they're always talking really cool stuff too. But those are guys that are like really proving that OSR is making a comeback. I mean, I could show you this book from the Basic Expert, and it's based
You
off.
approve of that pun, don't you?
Definitely do. Dad jokes are always welcome in this chat.
So this was an awesome Kickstarter here. This is my buddy, the Basic Expert, Maquito, white box role playing in the Aztec Empire. I mean, the finish on the cover is just amazing, right? It looks
nice.
Cool.
Yes, digest size, it's digest size. It's so hot right now. But yeah, I got a book ribbon, and it runs white box version of OSR rules. So if you're familiar with that,
you said digest size,
yes,
like Reader's Digest size. Is that the dimensions of the book?
Yeah,
is that what that refers to?
It's like it's like my zines, right? So you're familiar with the 8.5 by 5.5, but they call it digest because the cover usually comes out a little closer to like 6 by 9. And this did really well. TBE also just did another like banger Kickstarter that is white box, but it's spelt like the creature white. And and he recompiled like all the rules of chainmail into white box Dungeons and Dragons, and so that way you're not flipping through your books and through chainmail to try to make sense of everything.
Sorry, I'm just having fun with screenshots of.
Oh my god,
dude, that almost looks AI.
yeah, it does not look like it looks too unreal to look like AI in a way.
Voice, you gotta like copy and paste that and put that into like an AI generator checker. You know what I'm talking about? Like the AI use verifier websites, and then see what it comes back as.
Oh, I have no idea. Not familiar with those. Usually I can just tell by looking at it, but I think this is a shot. Like doesn't look AI.
Oh no, I'm sure it's
not.
I'm just saying that it would be funny. It would be funny if it came back as like 99% AI.
Willem Dafoe is AI. Not the image, just Willem Dafoe.
Not real. That guy back there is not real.
It's like all my YouTube ads at the minute. It's all AI people. It's terrible.
It's the dude. I saw something today that almost made my blood boil. Or was it last night? It was almost last night, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. I guess there was some like big time streaming manager. So I guess it's like his business is managing live streamers. I just realized you guys can't see what I'm drawing anymore, so I'm like biting my lip and drawing, and you have no context for that. Anyway,
throwing off your weird.
Yeah, Kitty will come in, will like walk by me, and she's like, "Do you realize you've had your tongue out while you're drawing that for the past 5 minutes?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, he's got his tongue out," and I'm like, "Reference, I could feel it. I know what my face feels like when I'm drawing."
Just imagining yourself.
Yeah. Oh shoot, what was I saying? Yeah. So the Twitch guy, and I didn't know that was a job. Like you manage streamers, like you manage actors or something.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a digital streamer, like what's somebody who deals in Women of the Night,
like a pimp,
like a pimp,
a streamer pimp.
Streamer
I mean, I assume it's like an agent, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could be an agent, a manager, someone who handles your PR and sets you up with stuff, like gigs, I guess.
So, one of the things I would think is if you have several different things, then that person would be able to hook you up with collaborations and things like that. I think that's where that sort of thing's probably very very
what
handy.
He said is that he buys bots to watch his people's stream.
Well, that's unethical.
And he said specifically, he said, and I looked this man straight into the windows of his soul, and he said, everybody bots, and if you ain't view botting, then you ain't streaming. And I was like, what a thing to say. What?
Yeah, I saw that today. It was Charlie Moist Critical. He's done a video about it saying this is ridiculous. He's saying everyone should just use bots, so nobody real is going to watch your streams. Just bot them, and you'll be fine.
Well, how do you even know what people want then? Like, do the bots have any personality, or are they just lemmings? I guess
I don't know. I have to look into it because I'm like, well, are they chatting? Like, how do you? Are they just views? They just count for your views watching you, but they're not really interacting with you in any particular way. And then do you pay for like a bot to chat? Do you pay for bots to leave likes and to repost? Like, are there tier membership things, frequent flyer miles? Like,
if the bots are AI, then yeah, they are going to have some weird generic chat they're going to say to you. That's yeah, exactly, JP. Like, it definitely leans into that dead internet theory where you're like, how many people are really saying this? And then depending on how the AI is trained or what it's trying to positively reinforce, I don't know. I feel like streamers can get some weird ideas and start like, you're gonna get the bots encouraging you to do like Daredevil stuff, or I mean,
to be fair, this has been around for a decade.
That has, yeah.
But I mean, this is what, like, bots are just replacing this. This has always existed. Like, there were places you could go to Fiverr and actually hire people at Fiverr to give you certain amounts of views and comments and, people watching streams and stuff. Yeah.
How much scaling's happening with this one, the photo you're showing?
I mean, this is like a kid in India or something with a ton of however many cell phones he's got here. And like, we got like 45. He's got 45 little cell phones that we can see on his rack, and they're just wired together because they're all just there to view and get views and stuff like that. But engagement farming, view farming, stuff like that, that's been around for a long time. It's just that AI and bots have gotten more advanced at doing it, but it's something that's been around for quite a while. And so I agree that it's not great. And the thing is it's like, yeah, you get numbers, but I mean, you're not getting like engagement on ads, really. You're not getting stuff like that, would be successful.
It's kind of not exactly where I was getting tushy tussled at. What was getting me was we used to make fun of people for doing that. You know what I mean? You used to shame people. Like, if somebody remember back when we first found out that, like, this very famous and prolific author released his book, and then we found out that he knew nothing about this book that he released because he had somebody else write it, and then they just slapped his name on it so it can get sales.
Yeah, it's just a ghostwriter.
And we used to make fun of those people, like, oh, to sell out, blah 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 blah. Well, now you got people like using AI to write books wholesale, but that's kind of not the point. What I'm getting
next question is, were they laughing right back at you, but all the way to the bank? It's like,
yeah, but then that's the last book they're going to sell, likely, right? Hopefully.
Sadly, I don't know.
I don't know that it works out that way. Go ahead.
This is what's particularly insidious about it. You get the view bots, and what Twitch will tell you is that it's too difficult to filter the bots from like people like me who watch a lot at work and are just lurking. Right? But when those people view bot, it ups their views, which pushes them higher in the algorithm. And Twitch is,
for things like Twitch,
YouTube, those services are more likely to push your content to other people because they assume it's what's popular.
Well, it doesn't even push your content. It's just for a place like Twitch, whoever has the highest number of views is in the number one slot, right? Like it's just a flat out, like, if you have X amount of people watching right now, you go to the top. If you have the second highest number, you're the next behind them. And so it's just when people go and like, oh, who's playing Darktide? And whoever the first few people playing Darktide, they're the ones that most people click on because they're just right there. It's like, it's like a Google search result or something. You don't go to page 4 to start looking for what pages you're going to go to. You start at the front.
Well, you have to click on the right category first of what you're
Yeah.
going to look for. So,
And-
but then
and
it'll
that's what I'm
show.
saying.
the
Well,
news.
yeah. And so for
It-
that, it's not even like manipulating an algorithm. It just pushes you at the front of the line, and it's not really an algorithm at all, you know?
But
I
it's
mean,
still performing that function though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And
Like people
I mean,
liking
it's
their
what
own
JP was
posts.
pointing out.
Yeah.
It exploits a weakness in the platform. I
But
mean,
it's
their
so-
algorithm, I guess, I don't know if that's accurate to say it's an algorithm. I mean, it seems like that is the function you're giving the software or the website to say, whoever has the most views goes to the
I tend to
top.
think of an algorithm as having more than one.
Like some dynamics to it.
Yeah, having more than just one vector of information, which is
But
just
I
view
think
count
that's what
and nothing
Paddy's-
else.
I think that's what Patty's saying, though, is like, well, that is the algorithm, say, for Twitch or
For sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but my argument would be, even if you're good at doing what you do
yeah,
and you're on the second page, no one will ever see it.
yeah.
Correct.
And so if you use bots to push yourself up to the front of the page, well, then people are more likely to click on you and see if they like you. And so even though you're using bots, you are still getting more genuine engagement than you would be if you're not using bots. And it's like, what is it? Don't hate the player, hate the game. Like I don't love that that's the case, but I mean, the audience is there too, right? It's
Oh,
the,
It is against terms of service, though. So y'all risking your channel.
yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Right. And so like there's always like that little thing, I guess, that they're
Well,
walking. And
Twitch
so
has a
what
lot
they're
of things.
saying is, well, it's like, what was it? Sports using steroids? I don't follow sports well enough, but I do know that for a while, steroids were just outright outlawed, but then they've gotten more lax on them because everyone was just using them anyway. But the thing that kind of sucks about it is that if it gets to a point where it's an industry or whatever, where if you're not using steroids, you're just not going to be able to compete with everyone
just gonna
else.
compete, yeah.
So even though you yourself don't even want to do it, if you're wanting to compete, you're forced to do it anyway. And I kind of hate that. And I think that's what a lot of people don't like about the bot streaming, or about like what that guy was saying about bots, where it's like, well, that shouldn't be how it is. And it's like, I agree. But as a viewer, 99% of people that watch, say, streamers or whatever, they click on the first one, and that's just is how it is, you know? And so that's kind of, or, you know, I guess in more in the terms of YouTube, or in, you know, things with more complicated algorithms, there's still a certain amount of like, yeah, but how do I just get them to present me? Because the truth is, if YouTube for whatever reason was like, oh my God, I love that Wargamer girl, and just puts like this live show right now on the front page for like 10 million people, suddenly we would have a ton of live viewers.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of them would stay. A lot of them would subscribe. A lot of them would be here next week. Like, getting yourself in front of that many eyes does have a value. And it's just, you just hate to hear that it's done in such a kind of an ill-gotten way. But if it's kind of permitted and then everyone in the industry is doing it, it's almost like you're kind of a sucker if you don't, right?
I don't agree with you. No.
I mean, it's just reality. I agree with you. Like,
Yeah,
you and I, like, I think are eye to eye on what should be, but I'm just saying, like,
yeah, I know what you're saying.
I'm just
Like,
looking at how it kind of works.
What is the price of victory worth? What is the price of victory? You know, and we could talk about that. We could talk about that all. Like, man, the
insider
the
baseball is
method,
fun
you know,
for people that do this. So
Yeah,
I don't
if
know
it's-
how
if
much our audience loves it, but it
Wait,
is
so
interesting to me.
Are you
What I was
familiar
getting
with
to-
Adam Ivy?
who?
I don't know. JP knows. Adam Ivy is a YouTuber. Has info on how
No,
the
he's a
algorithms-
YouTube beer. It's like a beverage, alcoholic
Oh,
beverage.
my
Oh,
bad.
very nice, very nice. Yes, yes. I'm familiar now.
But I don't know. I know you like Voice likes to study the algorithms, see what's going on the interwebs and all that.
I don't know if I've seen Adam Ivy. I've seen a lot of those
Yeah.
videos. Even when I'm not going to do them myself, I'm always interested in how it works, just because I love how systems work. Juiced out streamers.
Just roid raging or something.
To be
playing
fair,
whatever.
they're out there, I bet.
What is it, like PUBG or I don't know what people are playing now, and like just freaking out. That would be that'd be entertaining for like 5 minutes.
I bet Twitch probably has streamers that stream like weightlifting.
Oh yeah, it'll be
Yeah,
under
oh,
the
there's a
just
lot of
chatting
hobby.
category. Yeah, it
So
will be
you
there.
probably literally could find juiced out streamers.
I don't
Well, what I was getting to, bringing up Victor, my buddy, he made a really good point on the stream today. Was that the way that Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition has changed, and this was a really good point that I think he brought up, where he's like Wizards of the Coast is no longer making Dungeons and Dragons. It is making the folktale version of what Dungeon Tubers have sold the Dungeons and Dragons audience is Dungeons and Dragons. If you understand what I'm saying,
Dungeon tubers,
Well, what
Dungeon
they're doing,
like a type of potato.
D&D
Like
YouTubers, I think.
Critical
right?
Role, Legends of Evantris, like even what was it? Discourse Minis has like a Dungeons Discourse or Discourse Dungeons
I've seen that
channel.
one.
What is it? Ginny D. You know, these people that play Dungeons and Dragons, or they like sell Dungeons and Dragons as a like a life brand, a lifestyle brand. Which is cool.
Lifestyle. Yeah.
I mean, come on, I'm wearing a shirt that says just Noli things, you know what I mean, that I made. So obviously I'm into selling like the lifestyle brand. I think it's funny, and I like wearing my nerdy shirts. But what I'm getting to is these people have you know, decades have made videos of like how to run your first D&D session, you know, alternative rules that we like to use, and you know, what does play with miniatures look like? What is theater of the mind? Nobody likes theater of the mind. How do you make your first character, so on and so forth. And so what if what if the version of D&D that we're getting from the official sellers isn't necessarily the organic version, but the negative feedback loop WotC's getting because people are view-botting these streams, making it seem like these methods of play or these ideas of how games should be written is more popular than it really is.
Well,
dead internet is
that's why there's kind of a what would you call it? It's the squeaky wheel internet, maybe is the way to describe that. Because what you're describing, I mean, it's not dissimilar. I mean, Privateer did that with what is it, Muse on Minis, Road to War, like the podcasts that discussed it all the time. The thing is, those were the guys that played it like every single day. And that's when you start to differentiate, or I mean, maybe even just define, like, well, what is it our company does? Are we a tournament game? Are we like you were saying earlier, is D&D a lifestyle brand? Or is it just a fun game to play with friends and family? Or is it, you know, a political statement? Or is it like you're deciding what it is that you're wanting it to be? And I think that, you know, I think a lot of people, you know, when I talk to a lot of people that kind of, you know, we chat about this sort of thing, and it kind of starts off in different places. And this is where it comes down to who's making the game, because on the first level of it, it's like, well, who's listening, right? If you're the person who owns this company, what kind of person are you? And that's going to determine what feedback you're more apt to listen to.
I see. Okay.
And so that's like step one, right? Are you just someone who's like, nah, man, I have a mission statement for what the game's going to be, and that's just what it's going to be. We're not going to deviate from that. Or are you somebody who just, you know, I mean, again, I play lots of World of Warcraft, and it started off as this incredibly casual, friendly, whatever game. But then the people who were hired to start, you know, doing content design, they were all hardcore raiders, which meant that, all right, well, then all content we design moving forward is just hardcore raid content. And so I'll listen to feedback from the people I listen to, and I'll listen to, you know, from the podcasts I listen to, and from the things. And so it wasn't really the player base at large, but it was like what kind of, you know, play style they enjoyed playing. And so if the people running a game are like, I mean, then you could just have someone who's a CEO who's just like a business guy who's like, I don't even play this, I just run a company. Then he has people who are whispering into his ear as to, well, it should be this, or look what all the, you know, look what all the players are saying, and they point to YouTube channels that have a lot of views and stuff like that. And you have the, I don't know, the D&D worm tongue, you know, equivalent or whatever, right? You just have whoever's like advocating for the style of play they like.
Mhm.
And if they can make a strong enough argument to the CEO or to whatever, then that can even just be, that's the direction it moves in, right? And so the more content that's on YouTube that covers a particular thing, well, the stronger an argument that person can make to their CEO. Or, every company's different, right? And so who runs each company is different. And hell, every company's different depending on the point in time, right?
Sure.
Like, look at 40K, right? Like how many CEOs and different what would you call it? Company philosophies have moved through that company alone, right?
Mhm.
We're just a model company. Oh, right. We're not that anymore. Now we're like a competitive tournament company. Oh, okay. Is that what we are now?
Right.
And so, they all kind of do that. So it's a good point you make, I think, where you're like, oh, well, look at all the stuff that they're seeing because this is the content people are making. And it's like, yeah, it can kind of misrepresent it. And it's kind of funny. What was one of the number one comments you got, Miranda, for your battle reports?
When's the next one?
Well, okay,
That's
that's the
probably
most.
comment to
What's
have.
the second biggest comment? that
I
you would
make
get?
I make the game look more fun than it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
Where
That
was
was
she?
probably the
Hell,
second
I'm
highest consistent comment.
I was a
Well-
shill for a company that wouldn't even talk to me for years. Obviously.
Oh, dude.
I mean, whatever. I don't care. But it's yeah. But it is interesting to that point of like the YouTuber perspective or whatever. Like because you are in a way marketing, right?
Yeah.
Thing. By the way, boys, you do need to look at the private chat, please.
What am I missing?
And I
here?
think, yeah, JP had mentioned it too. It's like those big dungeon tubers are pretty legit. I highly doubt they use bots. They put in the work and were there at the right place in the right time. They sell authenticity. And I think all of that absolutely can be true. The managers, they may not know about stuff that's happening too, though.
Well, real quick on that one. Let's see here and pull that back up. There we go. One of the things though that I think to clarify on it is what is it? There's a filmmaking YouTuber guy I watch who says the riches are in the niches. Clearly doesn't know how to pronounce it, but the idea is that for something like I don't know, streaming D&D content, you're not Markiplier. You know what I mean? Like a few of them get real big, but for the most part, it's a small niche audience. It's a niche, what do you call it? Like hobby or interest or whatever. And I don't know that bots benefit smaller channels because smaller channels are looking for a very specific type of audience. Whereas broad appeal channels, like who I think Paddy is more referring to, they just need raw numbers because general audiences would be likely to watch their content. Whereas like we could put, we could bot or whatever and run like, 1 million people to come watch, what is it? Second edition Troll Bloods versus, Circle of Boros. And most people are like, what the hell am I looking at?
This?
And move on. Right. We would not get that kind of bang for our buck because it is such a niche sort of thing. Whereas, hey, look, this crazy, good-looking young wacky guy is playing a video game that sold like 40 million copies last year or whatever. It's like, oh, well, most people that see him and see the game, they're like, oh, he's doing that thing. Got it. They know, and they can find like the entertainment or the value out of the video is much broader. So you benefit more from just a shotgun approach to just getting it out in front of as many eyeballs as possible. And so I believe that, the dungeon tuber, stuff like that, I would assume most of them are pretty legit.
Yeah.
So I definitely wouldn't accuse them of not being.
I wouldn't accuse them of that, no. I think you're right in that with the bot situation, you see that on much broader scale stuff. Like the little worlds we live in, no. I don't think like mini wargaming's probably ever used like bots or like.
Well, how many people have been like, oh, you do a YouTube channel. What's it about? And you're like,
if I have to explain it more than the next one sentence, it's probably not worth going down that rabbit hole.
Don't worry, you're not interested. Is usually the most common reply. Don't worry, you've never heard of it. You're not interested.
Dude, I'm not ashamed. Like I talk about streaming on Rumble, and imagine that. Like I've never even heard of Rumble. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Well, and Rumble has so many problems. Like, I guess, the idea of Rumble. I appreciate that YouTube has
we stream
competition.
to
I think
Rumble.
that's healthy. We do stream to Rumble. But and I think JP had mentioned earlier, like, its discoverability is awful.
Yeah.
I don't know what their algorithm, if any, there
They don't
is,
have
but
one.
yeah, it's bad. You can't customize your front page. You can't, like, not see stuff you're not interested in.
Well, there's no real discovery to it, which is that's the biggest hurdle it has to get over. I want it to do well because YouTube should have, I think YouTube should have several companies competing with it. You know, like we just have one, and let's be real, it is a monopoly company that, you know,
effectively, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really is, right? Like, there's YouTube, and then there's the other 10% of the market that comprises of all the other companies, right? Like, even on what was it in the hearings? I think the Senate hearings for the antitrust hearings for Netflix trying to take
HBO,
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers. Yeah.
Warner Brothers.
Oh, Warner Brothers, yeah. Well,
there was
Paramount now.
I mean, I think there was like a conversation. I think Ted Cruz was having with one of the CEOs or one of the guys, one of the high up guys in Netflix, where he's just like, well, you guys basically have a monopoly on entertainment. And he was like, no, YouTube does by far. Like, we're huge and we're a distant second to YouTube. And it's like, he's cited numbers. It's like, yeah, no, YouTube is the biggest streaming platform there is. And it is I mean, I would argue it is at a monopolistic level. You know, there are not that Rumble exists kind of says that it's not, I guess. But I mean, it's like, how many gas stations does a chain own? And then go, well, look, there's one Ma and Pa like gas station over there. So technically we're not a monopoly, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I would like Rumble to really give YouTube a run for its money so that, you know, they would so that both platforms would treat their creators better, because YouTube is not real great to their creators. It's because they say, I don't know, suck it up or go somewhere else. Oh, right. There's nowhere else, you know? And so I do want more competition.
I'll tell you a really fun thing I like do now and again, because I've got a Raspberry Pi computer PC thing, but every time I update it, I just fully wipe it, because it's all on SD card, so you just install latest OS and I'll mess around with Python and stuff. It's great to go on that and then go to YouTube and just look what the homepage looks like without being signed. Because even if you sign out, all the cookies and everything's still there, kind of in the background. But on that, it's 100% blank, and it's just unrecognizable. And you see just the homepage on a blank PC. It's so weird.
Yeah, the stuff they promote, you're like, who watches this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that before. Well, not exactly your example, but I've done that on a fresh computer and stuff like that before. I'm always curious. And it's like, YouTube, what are you pushing today? And it's like, well, is this what people are watching?
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like it's not. I feel like a lot of it is what YouTube would like to promote, you know, and stuff like that. But I don't know. It is crazy. It doesn't look at all like my feed. I can tell you that.
Interesting.
I feel like we've veered away from the topic a bit.
I have a way of doing that.
You know what? This is a hangout, a chat. You know, we just sort of talk about whatever comes up, and then if the chat here is bringing up points, then that can veer us off too. I'm just fine with it.
I'm cool. I mean, if we want to go back to the the old school style games, I think we're just at an interesting point wherein it's in vogue. It's very fashionable to put OSR tagged on to whatever you put on like Drive-Thru RPG, right? And I don't know how much business. What's that?
OSR?
Yep, OSR, old school Renaissance, old school revival, depending on what you guys.
Old school rules.
No, it's old school Renaissance, old school revival, depending on how you look at it, what you want. And it's like an official tag you can put on there. We saw a big boom in it when Arcane Library's Shadow Dark was insanely successful. And right around the time that Shadow Dark became really successful, like I said, it became very fashionable for everyone to slap OSR on their rule sets.
Mhm.
And kind of like what Jeremy's pointing out here is like you can have black and white. I don't like saying subpar art, but some people say that. I don't say that. I love subpar art.
Many have said it.
Yeah, many have said. But it's like, oh, your characters die, and there's like save versus death and save versus poison, and you don't get hit points every level, and that's OSR.
Okay.
But it's one of those things where it's like, well, everything's OSR now because that people considered.
Is that like the video game version of every game now is being is touted as a roguelike?
Or a Souls-like, yeah.
Okay.
Or
Whereas
like
it's
Dark
becoming
Souls.
a very, very catch-all term.
Yeah.
Yes,
11th
very-
edition. That's
very much
OSR.
And it was very helpful for people for a little while to put OSR as a tag on their stuff until everyone started doing it. Now, if you go to Drive Thru RPG, it's like, what's old school? And it's like, well, everything's old school now because everyone's buying old school and people crave the old school. And
What is there craving about the old school?
like I said,
I guess you pointed the art and the. But
Which
I
brings
don't
us
know.
full circle to our topic today.
well,
I mean, that
I
really
can-
is
I
the
can-
question.
I can talk about it in a very culture war style. And I know we don't really talk about culture war topics on this channel too much. But in a very in a sense of what people are looking for out of their games. I think a lot of people are very upset, one, with the OGL crisis, right? So that was when Wizards of the
Right.
Coast
Gaming license,
threatened to take
yeah.
away. Yes. So people kind of reverted to doing clones that they can call their own. So that way they can keep a lot of the stuff that they had written and published without fear of Wizards of the Coast saying, okay, well, you can't sell that no more.
Right.
And then there's a lot of people that are a little anxious about the current direction that people are going. Like even normie type people look at orcs wearing ponchos and sombreros, and they're like, ooh, maybe not. Maybe that's not what I want to buy anymore.
Yeah, well,
and then-
it's part of the weird. The people who are doing it call it an inclusive philosophy, even though to me it just doesn't make sense at all. Like I don't know how it's inclusive to anything. It is political. It's that sort of thing. It is culture war stuff. I understand what you're talking about. Yeah.
But again, one of the biggest things is just selling the nostalgia of it. I think is a big part of it.
What nostalgia are you
sells
selling to
super well.
20-year-olds?
I guess it depends on who you think are buying these OSR type games. I
Hang
think
on, let me look it up.
like baby's first RPG is probably always going to be Denver,
Okay.
but there's like this section of more grognard type people who've been playing for 40 years that are they're just not with it. They're not exactly sure what it is anymore, right? But they know it when they see it. This is awesome. This is a really cool book, and it runs off of the old school essentials rule set, and Gods of the Forbidden North is any award-winning adventure book. It's 3 chunky volumes. The third one just hit Drive Thru RPG, and I got to do art in that book. So
Hey.
Yeah,
shout
cool.
out to Rob of Pulp Comic. It was an honor to be asked by an Any award-winning adventure designer. Be like, hey, you want to draw some stuff for my book? And I'm like, yeah, I want to draw some stuff for your book. That was an absolute pleasure, and I got to show off some of it now that the book is like on general market. But yeah, so it uses old school essentials, which I believe, Jeremy, you can correct me, or JP if you guys know, which I believe runs off of first edition. I don't think that one's white box.
Yeah, but that's the other thing. If people want to go back to like older rules they played years ago, because it it was thoroughly tested. It had to work because they couldn't just kick out an FAQ on the internet or anything like that. It was no, it has
Update
to
an
work
app weeks
out the box.
after the FAQ.
You know, exactly like how video games got ruined because they'd kick it out and go, we'll fix it later. When the internet came in, it's like, we'll patch that later. Just kick the Xbox disc out now. People will install it, find it's broken, but we'll release a patch. It's like, no, before that, PS2 days and PS1, it had to work.
Mm-hmm.
And like Sony would test it, and if they found a bug, they'd kick it straight back to the dev and say, this doesn't work, you better fix it before we release it.
Yeah.
And that's that old thing of, well, I know this works, so I like it.
Well,
and I still argue that for a lot of people, it's. I also know that it's not going to change, and that's like a big thing that I think a lot of people like. There you go. By the way, there's the word. It's what is it? A nostalgia for a time you've never known, and it's like. I mean, it's a little bit of the, Fallout 1960s retro futurism, right? How many people who watch or play or enjoy Fallout were alive in the early 60s? Like almost none, but it's a feeling. It's a sense of like, no, this seems really like you're kind of attached to it in a way that I swear it's almost Hollywood has brought you there or, but it's a sense of that. And I think a lot of old school games have a certain reputation with them, but they also have an aesthetic that is that sense of like, no, I just want to go back to when times were simpler. It's like, but you're 22 years old. What are you talking about? It's like, no, this idea I have in my head. And I think that, it's a popular thing right now.
I want to listen to scratchy, low fidelity vinyl and roll dice while a skipping VHS tape plays behind me. And you're like,
yeah, right.
Aren't, but okay.
It's like those aren't even from the same era. It's like whatever. T-Rexes and Triceratops fought each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's because the modern age always feels overwhelming, and so I think the old school stuff has the veneer of you can wrap your brain around it. It's a simpler time because you didn't have to experience when it was hard for everyone then. You just you get the anachronistic version, the way you go to a Ren fair and then still use real toilets, because who the hell wants to go to a Ren fair that's that authentic?
I mean, no. Well,
how many
okay.
women want to go to a Ren fair that's that authentic? Yeah, I know. We just go out in the woods.
We're gonna relive 18th century London. Like, no, we don't want to do that.
Well, answer me this, my fellow War Machine enjoyers. If somebody were to come out with the rule set and they said, hey, here is my not War Machine game where you use not Warjacks to throw each other and like smash stuff and like play really cool objectives, and it's ran by these things called not Warcasters, and that person said, this is going to be an homage to my favorite game, and maybe re-release a couple STLs, maybe a bunch of its paper minis, maybe a bunch of its like, hey, bring your minis that we all know you have, and you can play this game with it. Like, would you clamor for a game that actually gets support, or would you, or do you think that it's better to just live the game as it was and not move into the fourth?
Well,
edition?
I mean, so that part of this is the argument of one-page rules, right? Because I mean, there's nothing that technically stops anyone from going back and playing 4th Ed 40K. You know what I mean? You just eBay exists. You just go buy those books. If you even want to do that, like the internet exists, you can just download the books, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, so are you doing that, or are you playing something that's more, what would I say, communally supported, right? Because that is the idea. I mean, everybody's going to move to the, if you're like, oh, I play 10th Ed 40K and I don't like the new 11th Ed.
Yeah.
So what? Everyone's going to play it because that's what everyone's playing, right? It's a certain idea that if you walk into a game store and you're like, hey, who wants to get some 40K? And someone's like, yeah, I'll do it. And they're like, okay, we're doing 4th edition rules or 5th Ed. And they're like,
what?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know those rules. It's part of it is being able to find the group that's in the mindset, right? Now, if you're just, hey, there's a group of friends, we play in my living room and we just get together every other week. Well, you can play it whatever the hell you want, right? And I suspect a lot of groups do.
Yes.
But the question is, it's like, well, who's that for? And I do think stuff like one-page rules is for people who want to have a whole community around the game that they're into. Because I mean, let's be honest. I mean, part of what's really fun about getting together and talking about war games is getting together and talking about the war game you're playing right now. You know, and so
yeah, I mean, who wants to hear about what other people are playing?
Dude, that was one of the things I think that you said on last show, and it was really funny because you said that, and I really glommed onto it as I was heading into a weekend where I was inviting a bunch of my guys from work that have not played. I mean, they've never, they might have played Scrabble or Monopoly a handful of times in their life, right?
Oh,
and I invited them over, and I was like, oh, well, I guess, yeah, the younger guys played Magic, right? But
yeah.
I got them over, and we played 2 rounds of Gaslands, and a couple rounds of Magic, and we played Coup, and we played this game and that game.
Coup's
and
fun.
Dude, what a blast. And we were having a really good time, and I recorded 1 round of Coup, and I trash talk way more than I should for a nice guy. But I learned it from Jeremy.
So just channel whenever you're like in character.
Yeah.
No, it's an interesting thought. It's one of, to go back to your earlier point though that you brought up of like, oh well, there's these dungeon streamers, and so they've created this sort of what would you call it, like a socially accepted or a publicly accepted idea of this is what role playing games must be, right? And so the game companies go, oh, well, we'd better copy that so we can adhere to an audience. To go back to that idea, how many people do just play these games in their living? I mean, our friend DJ, right?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really even go to game stores. He's got mainly a friend that he plays with, but a few friends that he'll play 40K with. He prints out terrain. He does all the stuff, fully painted armies, all that sort of thing. He really does it so he can just play in his living room, and that's it. Like he has no ambition to go play in a game or in a tournament or anything like that.
No.
And he might go to a game store if we drag him, but it makes me wonder, well, how many in just 40K, it's the game we all know, how many 40K players fall under that, specifically that, right? What percentage of the player base will never really drag their army into a game store? And is it a significant one, right? Well, is that a group that you really should be thinking about when you are thinking about marketing? I have no idea. I'm not even entirely sure how you collect those numbers.
Well, the number's going to be higher now since GW just got rid of games in stores. So.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah.
You can't play games? Well, I guess it's all demos now. Is that right?
They just show new people how to play the game, but all the game nights
now it's strictly a demo table now. It's not a game table. Yeah, all the game
anymore. Nights stopped, which is my local indie store is booming because all the players just go to him now because they can't play in Games Workshop.
Yeah,
I couldn't even imagine.
I guess what you'd think of as an indie store is like out there in England, if you take it and you make the size of the store about 3 times bigger, like square footage, and then that's just the norm. Like, I mean, we have how many game stores just here in Albuquerque, and there's like a Games Workshop store up at north of Edgewood,
really far away, yeah.
But I mean, outside of that, we have like probably 5 game stores that aren't Games Workshop stores, and they're all decent size with lots of tables, and that's where most people go to play their games.
We have the benefit of that for sure.
Yeah,
and it's oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say because it hit community because I've got like about 5 GWs within 15 miles somewhere. About 5 of them, and they didn't do it all at once. It just gradually stores just stopped doing game nights and it's demo only. So everyone is going to indie stores.
Paul, do they run tournaments in any of those stores? I was up late, and so I was listening to a bunch of. I was catching up on industry professionals because it's like my job now. I got to talk about these things. And I was watching this one channel. This PNG Goblin guy was talking about doing a couples tournament with his girlfriend. And I want to say he was in Nottingham, not that I'm totally familiar, but I thought it was interesting. One of the things that really made my ears pick up was he was talking about playing at this gaming store, this big couples tournament, 2-player tournament or whatever. But anyway, and he was talking about how his like YouTube payout hit, and he was going to go hit the official GW store because he was in Nottingham. And I'm like, wait a second, you went to this big tournament and it wasn't at a GW store?
Well, yeah, if he was at Nottingham, he would have went to Warhammer World, which is the base, and that's got a giant room of like.
I was gonna say technically that's
20
the Games Workshop store, right?
Yeah. They do. Well, apart from Warhammer World, there is another GW just a mile away. That's it. But
Louise had pointed out that for Tavern, 70% of the Magic, estimated 70%, are people who don't play in store. Now, do they show up to tournaments, or do they just never come out at all? You just see them like come get their model and like leave in their nondescript brown bag or whatever.
They got the shades on and their hoodies up. Like, I can't have anybody knowing.
Nondescript.
They're leaving, just going, I'm normal.
Twisted up in the shape of a Games Workshop box.
What's in the brown paper bag? Alcohol!
I swear.
I swear. Brown bagging it on my way to work, dog.
But that's interesting. 70%. So that's his perspective as a game store owner.
Uh-huh.
And so he sees 7 out of 10 people that come in and buy Magic the Gathering and buy Warhammer 40K stuff. He's like, I don't see them playing at my store ever. They just come in and buy it and leave, and who knows where they play it? Probably at home.
I
So
mean,
that's an
I
interesting
know
thought, right?
there is a bolt action community in Albuquerque, but I've never seen them in a store. I know they only are like, it's just a closed group of people who either play at one person's house or a few people's houses.
That would be a hard one to measure, because I imagine, so like a manufacturer or somebody that's designing the game, going to a manufacturer, giving it to a distributor, they could probably see the metrics of like, okay, well, are you, they could talk to a store owner and be like, how many games of Mutants are you guys running a week there? None. Not surprising. Okay, how many people have picked up Mutants the Zine? Oh, we've had 10 people pick up Mutants the Zine. Okay, so maybe they picked it up for to keep it in the bathroom, but not for reading. Not doubt it, but war games are like really weird.
Rough toilet paper is this
right? But war games are really weird. When I was leaving Indianapolis, I sold my entire Space Marine collection that I bought as soon as I got back from basic combat training. And the dude that bought it from me, I was like, oh yeah, do you want the rule books? And he's like, why would I need those for? And I'm like, to play the game? He's like, oh no, I don't play the game. I just really like painting the minis.
Oh,
for Warhammer, I think that's a huge number.
It didn't really occur to me. And I know there's a mini painter on Rumble, goes by Roosterfish, very, very charming young lad. And he paints really, really well minis for somebody who just started painting. Mm-hmm. And I even asked him, like, so what games are you playing now? And he's like, actually, I don't play. I just I really like painting minis and hanging out on stream with you guys. I'm like, that's cool. So
there's an orc guy I used to watch years ago on YouTube that would do these really cool, built completely from scratch orc vehicles that he would then just give to his friends because he doesn't play Warhammer at all. And it's like, okay.
But it's not something that, I don't think people are collecting Magic cards to look at the art. Maybe they're collecting because they're like old comic book collectors. You know what I mean? People that didn't actually read, but they knew that there was value to them. And so they collected them just as an investment rather than actually being people that engaged the game in any meaningful manner.
But I would imagine Magic players, most of them are buying them to play them, though, right? Whereas for Warhammer, maybe not. Maybe buying them to paint them.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one.
I'm sure there's like the few Magic investors who buy like big bulks, hoping to fish out the super rare one that makes up for everything they just bought or whatever. We know someone who does that, but also plays Magic, so. Well, we are at 8:06 local time, so I was going to pull up the photos from Facebook.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
But you guys you're still allowed to talk. Like, it's fine,
No. Just jot down our conversation.
This is a special moment for me. I like looking at the homies' work. Speaking of which, looking at the homies' work, I work with a couple other autists on making a quarterly magazine called White Shark Quarterly, and it's a free magazine. It's a free hobby magazine. You guys should definitely check it out. And if you paint miniatures, we do like miniature showcases and miniature painting competitions. And the miniature painting competitions are timed. So like the theme of the competition gets talked about, and then it's like you have to enter in with like your box or like a freshly painted mini or freshly printed mini, and you have to like prove that you painted it within the time frame.
Time block. It's sort of like doing a what are those like little writing challenges, writing competitions where you have keywords, or film festivals where you have to prove you did it in that period.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
there's always like a handful of keywords that are like, all right, if you're going to do your short film, it has to involve a cane and a dog, and somebody has to say the word orangutan, and I don't know, like just to prove that you didn't just do this some other time. And I think miniature painting contests do the same thing, where there's like a handful of little.
I don't know that I've ever seen the keyword things. Usually, I think
I know Flo's done that.
Well, she just shows up to a place and paints in the block.
No, I think she's even for the one she shows up though. I think that there's still certain requirements like that. Yeah, I have to ask her, but yeah, she was telling me about that.
Well,
keeps you from entering the same model in like multiple competitions, being like that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the community generally locally is kind of small enough that you maybe don't do that.
Well, but I mean, especially for online stuff, one of the things you can do with it though is so it's like, okay, on March 1st, this is what it has to be. It has to use the color purple. It has to have or you know what I mean? It has to have this item in it, or, like this has to be on the base, be worked into the model or something. But they say those things because prior to that, nobody knew what was going to be required, which means nobody could have gotten started sooner. And then they go, okay, pencils down at the end of March. Right. And so we submit it on this day and we show it on this. And you know that everyone had roughly the month of March to work on it. And that's that. Or, you know what I mean? It's that sort of thing, I think, whenever they're trying to keep it fair.
Patty, there's a question for you.
How do we get our hands on that quarterly magazine? I will grab the Substack, but it is Space Shark 23 Substack. But let me grab that for you guys. I'll put it in chat. Well, I'll put it in the private chat because YouTube will block my link.
You don't. It doesn't exist. Ooh, JP, like undermining you. All right. So Charlie's first is the first submission here, just because they all go in alphabetically. Got some cavalry, and I think everybody has a collection of these MDF bases, and I certainly recognize these paint pots.
Did everybody get theirs from the little laser cut guy at Adepticon?
Adepticon, yeah. Everyone has their Chinese takeout container worth.
So that link is in the private chat when you want to share that.
Yeah, I've done it.
Oh, thank you, Paul.
Hey, Paul. He's so good at his job that he does for free for me. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate you.
No, but
I have a dream where I can pay the homies to do the things that they help me do.
All right. So tell me about this image of miniatures here. What do you know about it, Miranda?
It looks historical in nature.
Look like some cowboys.
They do. They look like cowboys. But I don't actually know what game it would be for. Hold on. Let me see if he actually posted it. Because normally I would have this pulled up if I was a more responsible streamer person. World War I Australian light horse from Brigade Gamed.
Ooh.
That is what those are.
It's funny because I was going to say they look like they could be Aussies. I don't even know why I thought that, because in my mind I tend to think of the hat with like the one side up. And I don't think any of these guys have it, but I don't know. They kind of looked at it. I was going to say that.
Kind of like Rough Riders. Those would be a cool historical take on the Rough Riders. They would certainly be easier to transport.
So Great War miniatures, is that like a line of World War I, just combatant miniatures?
Mm,
The hat band gives away. Maybe it was the hat
Yeah.
band. That makes sense. I bet that's what I was subconsciously picking out.
it just says it's from Brigade Gamed, so I don't know. All right, next one. He submitted 2. So these are Balkan War Turk infantry. I'm sure there's a lot of fun painting those hats.
Yeah.
The Army of Fezzes.
Beware. Thank you for basing your model.
Yeah, base is cool.
It goes a long way. Makes them look better. They have that
I know.
deserty feel now. Love it.
Just paint them grey. It's fine.
Just
I'm gonna-
paint gray.
Take all of my gray painted bases and fight Miranda at Valhalla.
What are you talking about?
My unbased
Bases?
trolls.
All right. I want to
Golf
clarify
course
something.
green, all right.
One, I think you should base your minis. I'm not making a value judgment against you as a person when I give you crap
No.
about giving your miniature.
I felt
Well-
judged to my very core. And
With
I
the
would never
caveat
pick
that
up-
I do. I make
think-
deep moral judgments based on what you've done to your bases.
I think people need to really start separating out literally any comment about what you have done in life is not to be taken so personally. I think people go, "Well, okay, great."
You know, here's something I will put out there with it, though, right? With the exception of some miniatures
Yeah.
that just come built this way, the base that your miniature stands on really is more of a blank canvas than the miniature itself. And so what you do with it is, I think, in some ways, a more of an expression of kind of who you are or or how you think about approaching covering that base than even the paint you put on the miniature.
Mountain of cork stacked on the
Cork
corkboard.
mountain.
Mountain of cork. It's
Tells me a lot about you.
Every model is 3 inches tall, with the mini itself being still a 25 millimeter.
yes. Well, it's
Depending
good
on
for-
the game, it might tell me that you're a guy who likes to cheese his models to get line of sight.
Oh,
Or
no.
it tells me-
And called out, Paddy. Sorry.
rough. Right.
Dexter bringing in his high-fiving amazing train.
Oh my goodness.
And you know
gracious.
somebody who does base his miniature. He bases his whole board. Makes up for
even
it.
better.
Even better.
Based.
What is going on here?
That's cool.
That is cool. Oh my god. Did you cut those out of Egg Crate as well? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I thought there were
You better
skulls for a
not.
second.
Miranda would be upset.
I wouldn't be upset. I'm just it's so much. Every time I'm I hear that he's done some what is it Zen monk sort of approach to oh no, I just do this incredibly tedious, highly skilled process.
You know
I
what?
don't
Some
know.
people have these little miniature rakes and a little box of sand, and other people have egg cartons and a pair of scissors, all right?
But it's the same thing. The same
New
thing.
strategy. Mountain of egg carton instead of corkboard. There you go. I'm switching it up just for you.
I love hearing how he comes up with all this. One, it's a great reuse of materials, but also I don't know, it's just part of me is wow, that is so amazing. And then there's this little really crappy petty part of me that's that's not fair, you know? Because this
I
looks
know.
better than what you can 3D print. This looks better than what you can injection mold, I would argue.
I know exactly what he's talking about. Let's see here.
Huh.
There. Expanded polystyrene foam. It's the stuff with the little balls in it.
Yes. Okay,
Well,
okay.
yeah.
Really? It
I don't
feels
know.
there's
That
a lot
was-
more gapping
looks like
in
it.
between.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
I
you
will
squish
say
them
this.
down. Yeah.
That cobblestone exterior, if Mrs. Parlor is still watching, there's houses that are built like this in my area, and every time we drive by one of those houses, she's like, I'd buy that house. And it's gotten to the point where we drive past them, I'd be like, yeah, would you buy that house? Would you? Tell me you'd buy that house.
Next time you need to tell her, I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1.
I think that's foam. You take a pencil, tear out the eraser, bend up the hole, and use it to
Yeah.
make
Oh, I
those
see.
stone
Like a
cuts.
stamp.
So I remember we went over our friend Thane.
I'm gonna do it right now.
He
I
had
know.
some terrain that they didn't do the walls. Well, they might have done the walls that way, but I remember they did the floor. And what they did was they took well, I'm blanking on the plastic you put in the oven. They Sculpey. They would take little Sculpey balls. They'd roll it into balls, and then they would stick it onto the base of the floor of this little building they built, and then you would just like kind of space them a little bit, and then squish them all flat, so that they wouldn't completely go against each other, and they look like cobblestones. And then they literally put them in and actually baked them together like that, and so it was like this really kind of hard plastic floor of the little cottage building that they would do. And so I could see the walls being done in a way, something like that, where it's like a air drying clay or trying to remember what that plastic clay stuff's called.
Sculpey sounds correct.
Styrene?
Well, Sculpey is the brand name, but there's a few different brands of it, and it's called something, and I'm blanking.
Polymer clay.
Polymer clay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it could be a polymer clay that's been baked together, I don't know. But it looks cool. It looks like a lot of work went into it, which, frankly, when it comes to a miniature, always makes it look just a little cooler.
I mean, you'd have to get different stamps. I don't know if this is going to show up super well, but that's what I just recreated here. Maybe
Yeah.
Hold on, do it. Show it again. Oh yeah, it's too symmetrical though.
Yeah, the pencil makes it too symmetrical. What I've seen people do is take a leaded tipped pencil and just draw out every.
That's what I
little
did.
shape. Yeah.
That's what I did for this one. I was making for you guys. I was gonna try to do it as a gift, and then I lost track of it and never came back to it. And then it kind of broke.
Wow.
I forget
Thanks
what
for
it
the
was.
gift. No.
I know, right?
Well, see, look at the corner
Oh,
here.
that's
Though. It
cool.
doesn't look. Oh. What?
Yeah,
Oh
so
my god, that does look really cool.
And there was like a whole like covered canopy top, and I did like a hatch in the bottom there, and I found these buttons to make it look like a clock tower, and so I was trying to make like a Signarin like clock tower. It's got like the arbitrary gear coming out of it for like an elevator.
That is cool. I like the brickwork you did on that. That looks great.
Yeah. So yeah, that's and it, like just like you were saying, Voice was I went in there with like a sharp mechanical pencil, and then I went back over it with a ballpoint pen to round out the bricks.
Mechanical pencil. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen ballpoint pen works really well
That's great.
to like thicken it out.
That is really cool. All right.
How's it going, Agile Monk?
Yeah, thanks for showing up for a minute there. Oh, okay. Here's his roof. He's telling us.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's clues.
We can put together the evidence.
that almost looks like Ace bandage, except gray.
Yeah, no, it's crepe paper though.
Oh, is it great? Okay.
So is he using like a Mod Podge kind of solution, like a paper mache solution to give it rigidity, and then
coating? Probably.
And then mush it together. Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay.
We've got the tacky glue there.
DM's Craft actually does something similar, but with toilet paper
Yeah,
and like Mod Podge or PVA glue.
but that looks really tidy, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Foam from TV box corners.
nice. It was the styrofoam. It was the foam all along.
All along.
Wow, that's really showing up though. Like the little balls of foam, they're more prominent than I'm used to seeing in that stuff. What a nice find.
Yeah, that's a really good find. Yeah, what did you use to? Oh, you just use Eileen's tacky glue. That makes sense. I was just about to ask what you used to glue them together.
It looks like it's the tacky glue. Based on the evidence of his crafting table. Or he's deeply misleading us. But
Right.
yeah.
And then I guess my
Probably
or Dexter, are you using a foam cutter, or are you cutting that with a box knife and then hiding the like the rough edges from the cuts? Because if you look at the on that other picture, can you go one picture before, like the slant cut, where you could see where the column is cut like at a slant and then it goes straight down? Like the texture on the top part is a little bit different. It was I think it was the picture before or so.
This
Yeah,
one?
see,
Or-
zoom into those columns. Right where your cursor is.
Oh yeah.
And you're saying that's probably
still
cut
get-
with a hot wire or something, and then
Yeah. trying to
That's like a little
decipher.
smoother.
Oh, he used a box cutter. Nice.
Okay.
Well, it's amazing, right? Because I don't have a hot wire foam cutter, and I'm always like afraid. Well, first I get access to all sorts of styrofoam, but Mrs. Parlor would slit my throat in my sleep if I brought home every piece of styrofoam. Dude, I'd have so much styrofoam. So much.
Mrs. Parlor should definitely keep her boundaries up.
Yes. Dude, she didn't get mad at me, but as an electrician, I get access to like these spools, these plastic spools.
Oh yeah.
And I really want to make like a Necromunda like hive apartment complex.
Oh, of just like all of them on their side, like.
Well, I'd have to get
Yeah.
it and put it on the side, and then you can get like 2 levels, and they're like 16 inches or so in diameter. So you
Yeah.
can get like a 3-inch walkway all around them.
Oh no! I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, it would make kind of a cool 3D printer filament. Actually, comes on something kind of similar.
Yeah.
Actually, but yeah, I think I was talking about where you just stack a bunch of them up and it creates the spire of multiple levels.
Yep. Exactly. That's really cool.
We've
I
got
know who
Jeremy
did.
rolling in.
Oh man, he's still making his knights with their heraldry on the helmet.
It's Sir Justin the Green.
No way. He looks more like a Greg the Orange.
Well, the green isn't actually related to his color so much as his experience level.
Oh,
He's new to all this. All right,
He's new. Jeremy just
or he's really good at growing plants. I'm not sure.
No, the green thumb, Justin the Green Thumb. He submitted. Yeah, here's the back, his backside. He's got his little dragon wings. Cool heraldry. Cool dual colors, by the way. The
Yeah.
green to the black.
Yeah,
Jeremy, you're bringing that one to Valhalla, right?
Is he? Matthew. We've got I believe Iron Kingdom's miniature.
Yes, that is.
Oh, that's the guy from the novel.
Yeah.
Blackwater Irregulars.
I know his name.
I want to say it's Elias.
Elias sounds right. Yeah, I was like, it's an E name.
I love that it's the little mini crate box that he's standing on, like it's an actual crate.
Turns out the little bugger is, in fact, an infernal, but, whatever. Or infernal.
Just
Eilish.
Ignore all of
Eilish.
that nonsense. Once anything that the hinge homeless guy says, just ignore it.
Yeah, he's
crazy.
homeless.
He was a crazy old man. Paul sent me a
Someone
picture
gave a
of some
schizophrenic
infernal.
homeless guy access
Yeah.
to Twitter, and he wrote lore for Iron Kingdoms. Just ignore it. None of that
Yeah.
happened.
No, it's terrible. It's terrible. Forget the
That was a
infernals.
fun mini to paint. I got that one too, and I was using him in Frostgrave actually as a necromancer wizard.
So Thomas Grable for his diorama, making the backdrop,
Ooh,
painting the cool triple moons.
the Dunian knot.
Beautiful. It's coming along really nicely. So not too
So I
much
assume
longer
that's
now
Iron
before
Kingdoms,
Adepticon,
right?
I think. Huh?
I assume that's Iron Kingdoms, right? Iron
Yeah,
Kingdoms has
yeah.
3 moons. So I
It
forget
does.
what you call that.
It's also funny because I'm pretty sure I built that exact tower as a piece of terrain too.
Nah.
I wonder if it's nearby. I'm gonna pick it up while you guys. Oh yeah,
That exact one.
oh, it's just
Very-
missing the window up top, but it's so close.
It is quite close. Nice. Beautifully done. That is the last one we have for today. So thank you, Thomas. Thank you, everybody who submitted minis.
Nice.
We're gonna call it
Nice
here.
work.
We're over time now, so
Dang. Man, I can go on for hours with you guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Where can people find you? I know you're on Rumble primarily, so it's
Yes.
Paddy's Parlor, right?
You go to rumble.com/c/Paddy's Parlor with the both P's capitalized. That'll take you to my Rumble channel. You can find me at Patio Cakes. I get a little spicy on Twitter. I get a little funny, but I always post like work in progress shots of my art. I try to pump up the homies. I'm trying to grow this community called the Indie Game Guild. So if you are a game designer, if you're an artist, if you're a layout guy, if you're somebody that's looking to get into the industry, it's a good place to start because it's just a bunch of really helpful people getting together. and that was started by a lovely British couple called Everay Games, Vicky and Dean. Very grateful for those guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're into that, or if you're just looking for like a really cool indie game to sink your teeth into, it's a good place to start. So I highly recommend that X community. And yeah, that's me. Rumble and X primarily.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. Also, great job, Matthew, getting progress on the old witch. I hope everybody who was painting tonight got some progress done. I gotta get back to painting. That actually sounds really nice.
Yeah, I gotta paint this one. For Jeremy and I are gonna try to do a jousting tournament at Valhalla this year.
You guys have so many like crazy plans.
I know. It's gonna be interesting to see if we can get to all of it.
All right, I got a question for Matthew though. Which old witch is it? Because there's the really cool one that's like the 120 mil base that I started work on one, but I never finished it, and I really want to go back to it.
Kitty and I too. As a matter of fact, I can see its foot from right here. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's such a cool miniature.
It's
Like
a really cool miniature. I love it.
Next on my
Chuckaroo
list,
Bob
I've got
did
to do,
laundry.
Calgo.
All right. Well,
We don't even have her on there.
same with us actually.
yeah.
You keep her off until you're done. Although ours is mounted on the base still.
The base. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to find what happened to this. I don't think we kept it off because it didn't fit, and it was like the largest gap. And that was one of the reasons why we never finished it.
Yeah, like some of their resin casts. Oh, there's a little.
Touch and go.
I think we lost Disembodied's voice. He muted himself, probably. That's the one. She's for Grimkin. Okay, excellent.
Yeah,
All right, am I back?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. It's the best one. Well, good luck painting that thing. Like, you should definitely submit it when you're done so we can show it on next week's show. Because I love that model. It's one of the coolest models ever.
We're going
I
to
love
close it out here. We'll be back in 2 weeks, which is March 18th. And yeah, I think Adepticon's happening. I don't remember when Adepticon's happening. I'm not going, so I don't know.
How many more shows until Valhalla? It's like 8 weeks from now, right?
Yeah,
For
it's
Valhalla?
coming up. So we've got the 18th, and then the 1st, and the 15th.
Actually,
and after that, it's on.
before we go, I'm going to hand something to Miranda so she can show it to people.
Has he got to sprint across the house?
Just walks out one door and into another, really.
Got to time him.
He has to go look for it, probably. He's like, oh, I didn't think about this. Oh my gosh. I can't back up for that bad boy. All right, so here's the piece that he's been working on for how long?
I mean, from the very beginning, it's been a while, but I've been working on it last week.
This.
Oh my goodness.
Here's a piece of tower terrain that we've had for
It's
while.
the tower.
That is a tower.
It's the tower. It's more towel than anything you've seen before.
You can see like there's sort of the landing pad there, and you've got I guess the bunker area and the entryway.
I don't know.
Little towel figures are getting in there. There you go.
I don't know, boy. That landing pad looks way too small for a manta.
It might be too small for a manta, but pretty much everything. I think I can land a Valkyrie on there.
The whole thing just like transforms into another tower or another towel mech. Like that'd be sweet. Surprise! It was a mech the whole time.
It just transforms. Friends don't let friends play Tau. Well, I didn't say anybody was playing Tau. I'm just saying we have.
Since we're showing what we're working on for Valhalla.
Yeah.
But I have a whole table that'll be really cool whenever.
Stuff
we get
coming
there.
along. So it's going to be very busy when she gets back. All right. Well, we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Have a great night and happy hobbying.
Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, have a good night.
Barry, cover me.
Copy that. No more sandwiches, Barry. What's wrong with this place? I'm in the west corridor. I'm right outside the generator room. I'm out of bullets. Oh, Barry.